was tremendously off-putting to me, certainly to Joe Rogan. And Kenny, I'm not sure exactly why those imperatives were coming from Herb Dean at this stage of the fight. It was not Merab Dvalishvili being exercising timidity or anything like that.
Yes.
He was up 4-0 potentially. He had the fight in the bag, and I don't know. It just seemed to me that Herb Dean was injecting himself in the fight in a way that he didn't need to. Even though I really do love him as a human being, I have to be critical on a live mic, and I believe he absolutely deserved that criticism.
So that was a little frustrating. I was like, the fixes in Merab is fighting the judges, kind of, sort of, not really, because he obviously won. But he was fighting Herb Dean, Tim Welch in the early 10 seconds of the fight, and then fighting Sean O'Malley as well. And I have to bring this up. I don't know if refs put money on fights. I know they can't probably do it in good consciousness with their actual name, like them going to the bookie and purchasing the slip. But I wonder if they actually take money out of their pocket and give it to a friend or family member and have them put the bets in, because Merab was working in the clinch, working on the ground, throwing punches, throwing knees, big knees, and you just hear Herb Dean right out of the gate, all right, you gotta work, you gotta do something with the position. I'm just like, yo, bro, what else do you want him to do? O'Malley's actually doing a good job defending. Like, what do you want him to do right here? He's not gonna let him go and just start teeing up like he's in a bar fight. Like, he's gotta advance the position, beat him up, let him do what he needs to do, cook him. And yeah, it was a weird one for me when he constantly kept interjecting.
They're doing fine.
Yeah, I think it was too much.
Yeah.
But I can see what Herb was trying to do, because Merab was, whether he was or was not, it looked like he was trying to wind down the clock at the end.
In the fifth round, of course.
The entire fifth round,
yeah.
Merab was kind of just draining time.
Yeah.
Circling a lot, not doing much, not engaging too much. Just playing that sort of game. And I can see Herb being like, that's not cool. Work. Just giving him warnings, come on, do something.
Yeah.
But he did too much. He did way too much. He said work whenever Merab was in any position.
And Joe Rogan mentioned something about this. And Henry, I agree. You shouldn't be telling a guy, once they're taken down and they've been taken down over and over and over and they're getting beat on, you shouldn't be telling, work, or I'm going to stand you up. No, you shouldn't. That shouldn't be your job to come in and save the guy, to stand him up and save him just to give him a chance. This is a fight. He has to work up. He has to find a way to get back up on his feet. So I completely agree with.
I didn't hear Herb Dean try and say things like, oh, you got to work, even though I thought Merab was working the whole time. It might not be the most exciting ground and pound, but he was still doing enough to keep busy. And it's not really Herb Dean's job to do that. Maybe look like he wanted to get the fight back up to the feet, which you heard the commentators, Joe Rogan, DC, are not happy with, and John Anik, which was fair. I think they're on point there. I didn't hear him saying it, but I heard them talking about it. And then even when he was circling on the cage, it's not the ref's job to, make him do that. Look, I get it. Say if someone's not engaging the whole time, you're going to be like, oh, guys, I need you to work. They're doing that the whole fight, but it wasn't the case. It was towards the end. Obviously, it's a Sphere. There's a lot of hype around Sean O'Malley, a lot of hype around the Sphere and wanting a big event. Maybe that played into, Herb Dean's decision to try and get things going. I mean, you are starting to see refs do that a little bit more, but again, I feel like there was a bit of a bias there.
And this is, again, I know Herb's going to see this because he's so involved in the sport. He sees everything. It's not a personal attack. Anytime I see Herb, we shake hands. It's a, hey, how are you? Hope things are well. I need to preface that. This is not personal. This is me speaking from a person who spent my entire adult life inside of that octagon on the other side of what you're doing. So it affects me very seriously, and it has for almost 20 years. So I do have a strong opinion about it, and it's not personal. I think Herb's a great guy. I've actually, spent a little bit of time around him in some social situations. Lovely man, enjoyed every moment. But he found himself in a weird, funky position, because I'm sure behind the scenes you got guys complaining about Tim Welch coaching the other person, and there's a lot of beef there and a lot of problems. So if Merab wants to spend his time in the octagon when he should be fighting Sean O'Malley, talking to the other coaches, that should be on him. That's his business.
Yeah.
And although Tim Welch talking to Merab is maybe a dirtbag move, I don't believe that it should be illegal.
I've never seen that. A coach that starts to coach the other guy. Merab, you got to get close. Merab's like, what is going on? So Merab starts yelling at the coach. His name is Tim Welch. Yep. He starts yelling at Tim. Then Sean is kind of standing there like, what is happening? Then Merab starts to kiss Sean. So Merab starts to kiss Sean. So this is the crazy. Herb looks lost. I've never seen Herb look so flustered. I'm looking at these dudes are 100 feet tall in the sphere. I got Merab kissing Sean behind the neck. I got Merab's coach, or Sean's coach, coaching Merab. Merab's yelling at him. Dude, it was the crazy. It was fitting. It was just fitting for what this event was supposed to be.
Let's speak about Herb Dean. He definitely got involved in the action on more than one occasion tonight, okay? Right at the start of the fight, Merab was having words and an argument with Tim Welch. That is the longtime cornerman and close friend of Sean O'Malley. I don't know what was going on. It was kind of hard to see, but referee Herb Dean got involved. He's like, no, you can't do that. Don't over corner. He told off the corner as well. Apparently it was excessive coaching. You can't coach too much. You can't get involved. You can't talk shit to your fighter's opponent. But that wasn't the only time that Herb Dean interrupted, got involved, told them to stand up, told them to work. Herb Dean's one of the best in the business, but he was a little bit too quick to get involved tonight.
I agree with you, absolutely. And I gotta say, this is tough because sometimes I feel like Herb Dean isn't engaged in the fight. Like sometimes I feel like he's a little bit late to make certain decisions or whatever. This was the most active I have seen him ever.
Yeah.
And you were talking about timidity. I have the rules gun up. I'm gonna read this here. It says timidity, avoiding contact or consistently dropping the mouthpiece or faking an injury. Timidity is defined as any fighter who purposely avoids contact with his opponent or runs away from the action of the fight. Timidity can also be called by the referee of any attempt by a fighter to receive time by falsely claiming a foul, injury, or purposely dropping or spitting out their mouthpiece or other action designed to stall or delay the action of the fight.
Right.
I never saw that. I did not see that.
Still a fun fight. A lot of weird things happened. I don't know what happened at the start of the fight. You had Merab. Was he talking to the corner? I thought it was his mouth guard. I thought he didn't have his mouth guard, but that wasn't what it was. That was weird. Then you had the moment where Merab was like sort of doing something. Herb Dean was like, said stop. So the time wasn't done. So the fact that Herb Dean, because back in the replay you hear Herb Dean say stop. So you have to stop when the ref says that.
I agree. It was a very, very weird moment. I thought for a second there, I thought maybe he didn't have his mouth guard in his mouth, and he's pointing to his corner like, "Hey guys, you forgot my mouth guard. But what could possibly be said unless the corner is just saying vulgar, crazy things to Merab? How could you stop? How do you stop a performance to say something like that? To hey, be quiet. No excessive. I guess it's called excessive coaching. That's the rule. It's a rule. It's excessive coaching. So I think that was ridiculous because at the end of the day too, if that's a tactic that you're as a fighter, when you're in there, you're supposed to be focused on your guy. Just go ahead and get it done.
I'm friends with a lot of these referees. I have had public dust-ups with some of them, but to Jason Herzog, Mark Smith, John McCarthy, Mark Goddard, like with total respect, I dare one of you guys to text me and defend Herb Dean's verbals in that situation. I got a text message from Tyson Chartier, coach at the New England Cartel. I, and assume many more, really appreciated your pushback on Herb Dean, asking for more action and trying to influence the fight. Was very frustrating to see. Thank you for doing that.